Hello and welcome to Southside News Today. I'm Chuck Bitterman. Southside News Today is brought to you by Guns, Gear, and Ammo, Route 58 Cascade, the Chatham Star Tribune, and by Shanks Associates, engineers, surveyors, and planners. Well, if you don't have an appointment at the big vaccination clinic at Danville Mall, don't walk in expecting a shot. Danville City Manager Ken Larkin says word got around earlier this week that the Community Vaccination Center at the old JCPenney's was accepting walk-ins because of an oversupply of vaccine. He says that's never been official policy. The clinic did, though, accommodate some walk-ins at the time.
It's hard for somebody when you walk up to something and see a lot of inactivity and go, hey, I'd like to get a shot. It's hard to say no. I mean, you're going to say, sure, why not? Come on in. Let's get you a shot. We ultimately want as many people to get shots as possible.
Larkin says they're now having to turn away walk-ins. He says they can only go as fast as the state supply allows them.
In our case, they had overestimated the demand at first, and so they did have a little excess availability, and then they allowed people to take advantage of that by walking in. Now we're at the point where actually that availability has dried up, so we have much fewer vaccines available, doses of vaccines available for people. And so unfortunately, if people are driving long distances right now to come to Danville and they hope to get a shot, they're most likely going to be turned away now.
Meantime, the clinic is doing well, according to Larkin. He says they're ready to move to the next level just as soon as the state is.
Obviously, we would welcome going to phase 2 and then opening the floodgates and letting people get vaccinated because we've got a smooth process and we know how to do it, and we're happy to give vaccines, and we'd love to do that. But it's a tough argument to make to the folks in Richmond to say, hey, send us more vaccine. Meanwhile, vulnerable people in other parts of the state haven't even had the vaccine.
The Community Vaccination Center at the mall has dished out several thousand shots over the past 2 weeks. Well, meantime, the State Department of Health is opening a new COVID-19 vaccine clinic in the area. They want to open the Gretna Community Center as soon as next week. It'll also be available by appointment only. County was able to lease the former Gretna Foodland building for $30,000. County Administrator David Smitherman says it'll offer folks in the northern end of Pittsylvania County convenient access to the COVID-19 vaccine. Anyone who falls under Phase 1C eligibility can schedule their shot. It covers all frontline and essential workers and those between the ages of 16 and 64, and those with certain medical conditions. Well, the Danville Family YMCA wants folks to get educated and get registered for getting their own COVID-19 vaccine. A group called Educate and Vaccinate will be in the front lobby at the Y the next 2 Fridays from 8:30 to 1. They want to help folks who have difficulty using email, cell phones, or computers. You do not have to be a member of the Y to get this help. In other news, a suspect in a Danville robbery was wounded Wednesday night in a shootout with police in Canton, Ohio. 33-year-old Aaron Thomas and 28-year-old Antonio Stanfield are charged with a robbery and a March 14th assault at a West Main Street hotel. Just a few days ago, Danville police issued these surveillance photos in hopes of finding the suspects. Danville police learned they two probably fled to Ohio. They contacted members of the Northern Ohio Violent Fugitive Task Force. Federal marshals approached a house where they believe Thomas was staying Wednesday night.
And this individual that was wanted on aggravated robbery, felon possession with an individual. Previous manslaughter charges.
Authorities say Thomas ran out the front door and opened fire on the officers. One of the officers says Thomas was yelling that he wanted the police to kill him. Another officer was hit. Police then returned fire, and Thomas was hit.
Our SWAT team had just arrived on scene when this individual exited the apartment and began shooting. Our SWAT team did not engage the subject, however. I'm proud of our officers. I'm proud of everyone who was here, who handled the scene. The suspect was administered first aid immediately upon him being wounded.
Now, the officer is in stable condition. Thomas listed in critical condition. Thomas recently served 4 years for voluntary manslaughter in the 2016 killing of a teenager here in Danville. He and Stanfield are accused of pistol whipping a third man at a motel 2 weeks ago and taking items from him. Anyone, meantime, with information on Stanfield's whereabouts has to call Danville Crime Stoppers at 793-0000. 26 community health centers in Virginia will get $80 million in COVID-19 funds to promote vaccination and services for vulnerable populations. Locally, Paths of Danville will get $3.7 million. That money could be used to support and expand COVID-19 vaccination, testing, and treatment for those populations to deliver preventative and primary health care to those who are at higher risk of contracting COVID. Also, it can help expand health centers' capacity during the pandemic. PAVS has several locations in Danville, Pittsylvania County, and Halifax County. In sports, it's become the annual showdown for the Piedmont District Football Championship, and the stakes are going to be high once again when GW travels to Ridgeway Friday to take on the Magna Vista Warriors. Now, since GW joined the Piedmont District in 2013, they've lost only 4 district games, 3 of them to Magna Vista. Similar story for the Warriors. Of their 8 district losses in the past 8 seasons, 4 are courtesy of GW. Their combined record against other Piedmont District teams, 84-5. GW coach Nick Anderson says these are the games the players and coaches live for.
It's fun. You know, these guys, they make you coach and make you make adjustments during the game. And, you know, it's going to be a fight for 4 quarters. So those type of games are fun for us coaches and the players, too. It makes it mean a little bit more.
Well, shameless plug time. You can watch the game on CVIT Media Solutions by way of the GW Eagles Facebook page. Our pregame show begins Friday at 6:30 p.m. Also this weekend, Pittsylvania County's lone unbeaten team, the Dan River Wildcats, will take on Gretna. Chatham and Tunstall will also square off. Let's wrap up our week on a positive note. With today's Live Positive, here's Dr. Joey Fawcett.
I'm Dr. Joey Fawcett, coaching you to live positive today and increase your positivity with greater joy so you make a life worth living. Do you persevere when a problem is chasing you? I really love bluebirds. I'm constantly looking for new places to put boxes for them to nest in out on our farm. Well, I noticed a pair of bluebirds building in one box in early spring, and I also saw a mockingbird hanging around, chasing the bluebirds away from the box, even sitting on top of the box. But the bluebirds just kept building anyway. I became a little concerned that if the bluebirds hatched their young while the mockingbird was around, that he'd kill the babies. So I ripped out the nest in hopes the bluebirds would stop building for a few days, just long enough for the mockingbird to lose interest, and then the bluebirds would start building again. And that's exactly what happened. The mockingbird moved on, lost his interest, and the bluebirds came back, hatching 4 more to join the growing numbers on our farm. You know, you have to start over sometimes in life, right? Just like the bluebirds in their nest building. You have to back up and try again to be successful. When a problem starts chasing you today, catch your breath for a little while, then persevere as you live positive and make a life worth living. Coaching you to live positive today, I'm Dr. Joey Fawcett.
Thanks a lot, Dr. Joey, and that is Southside News Today. I'm Chuck Vipperman. Southside News Today, a service of Shanks Associates, engineers, surveyors, and planners, the Chatham Star Tribune, and Guns, Gear, and Ammo, Route 58 Cascade. I'm Chuck Vipperman. Have a great day.